Welcome back to Real America, where we hear from real people about what's top of mind for them. Tonight, we're going to talk about money. In 1992, American political consultant James Carville famously coined the phrase, "It's the economy, stupid," during Bill Clinton's U.S. presidential campaign when he was reminding campaign workers to focus on the economy as the central issue driving voter concerns. He is not wrong. Economic conditions like jobs, wages, and the cost of living often outweigh other political issues influencing elections, and voters prioritize their financial well being, making the economy a key determinant in political outcomes. We all know this. Many people voted for Trump hoping that the economy would improve. And although prices have come down a bit, tariffs have driven some of them up, and it's confusing. Voters are split on Trump's big, beautiful bill. Recent polling found respondents divided. 48% said it will improve things, and 52% said it will make the economy worse. Seems like no one really knows what's going to happen. And some of you might remember Marissa. She was on our first episode and got doged. When I checked in with my chat at Phetasy.com today about their feelings about the economy, she said, quote, "I've noticed the growing disconnect between what our leaders tell us is going on with the economy and what everyone is experiencing. This has been going on at least since the pandemic. Right now, I'm dangling on the edge of bankruptcy since losing my job, and I know a guy who's been out of work for over a year. I know it's not bad for everyone, but it does seem to be bad for a lot of people, and even among people who I think are in a good place, they all fear losing their jobs to AI." I know that for me, as someone who has lived paycheck to paycheck, but not even paycheck to paycheck because I was a freelance worker, so it's been basically gig to gig for decades, there was a sense that I'd never, ever get ahead. This was exacerbated, of course, living in California, and it's one of the primary reasons I left. But even still, I feel it. Everything is more expensive. Your dollar doesn't go as far. There's no incentive to save because you'll make 30 cents in interest over the course of 3 months, if even that. So you're rewarded for putting your money in the markets, which is risky, and that's if you even have money. I deeply relate to the meme based on the Star Wars scene, "You are the chosen one," that makes fun of the investor class saying, "Buy the dip." And then the response, "With what?" There was always a sense that there were people who cared about the stock market and could partake in it, and people like me who could not. Now, some of this is rich dad, poor dad, meaning if you come from money, you're taught different things about money. I did not come from money. And some of it is a poverty mentality that we get stuck in and never really get out of. And some of it is reality. Inflation is real and it has real world consequences. I'm not broke anymore, and yet I still feel broke. When socialist Mamdani won the primary to be mayor of New York, the election that's coming up in November, a quote from Peter Thiel on why 70% of millennials say they are pro-socialist made the rounds on social media. Thiel said, "When one has too much student debt or if housing is too unaffordable, then one will have negative capital for a long time. And if one has no stake in the capitalist system, then one may well turn against it." Another woman, a millennial in my Phetasy community, said, "All I know is that I still can't afford a home, and it seems like inflation is still high," which to me really gets to the heart of things. Inflation is at the heart of the persistent feeling of decline that many of us have. Rising prices ought not be a fact of life, and it's so much more than that. Milton Friedman said, "The tendency for inflation that is high on the average to be highly variable is reinforced by the effect of inflation on the political cohesiveness of a country in which institutional arrangements and financial contracts have been adjusted to a long-term normal price level. Some groups gain, for example, homeowners, others lose, owners of savings accounts and fixed interest securities. Prudent behavior becomes, in fact, reckless, and reckless behavior, in fact, prudent. The society is polarized. One group is set against another. Political unrest increases. The capacity of any government to govern is reduced at the same time that the pressure for strong action grows." Inflation and the frayed social fabric are intricately connected, and it also means that even the jobs that remain, we must work harder to achieve the same or less. So everyone pays, even if they don't realize it. And more importantly, we pay in ways that are insidious and can't be calculated in dollars. The negative consequences are difficult to overstate. The dream that is never chased, the risk never taken, the house never bought, the family never formed. Today, we're going to be talking to my friend and a mentor, Jim Burr, about the economy, stupid. He's helped me understand money in ways I didn't before. And more importantly, we want to hear from you. How are you feeling about the economy? Jobs? How has the big bill affected you? Has it in any way, positive or negative? What would make a difference for you and your family right now financially? I really am excited to hear from you. I think that in all of this noise, there's so much noise and everybody's talking about all these things, and really cutting through the noise. I want to know, how are you doing about that? How are you feeling about this? And sometimes the way we feel isn't even a fact. And I'm excited to talk to Jim Burr about parsing a lot of this.